Hello and welcome to Stateside here on Politics Social with me, Graham Hughes, and I'm joined as nearly always by the delectable Mikey Famine over in Chicago, Illinois. Come on, feel the Illinois. Does it Illinois you when people say it wrong? So big shout out to Diz and Joanna and the Witchy Goth. We've got Kieran in the chat. We've got Saz, Chris C. We've got Unquiet Badger. Those are lovely people in the chat. Plum Duff is in the chat. Liam Fairhurst and Trip and others. Sarah's in the chat. Hi Sarah, how you doing? If you'd like to join our friends in the chat here, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button, wait for a minute, and you'll be able to join the chat. But don't be a troll, because we don't tolerate trolls around here. There's 1,000 other channels you can go to and be a troll, and no one will care. Mikey is muted for us. Oh dear, Mikey, sorry, I had you muted. Thank you for letting me know, Unquiet Badger.
I just told everybody the meaning of life, and come to find out, no one heard it. I don't think I'd ever be able to repeat how in depth I got just then.
You just sung the lost chord. We're never going to find it again. I don't know how you can do that. Multiple notes all at the same time.
It was an H flat.
Anyway, so I was just saying to Mikey, we were talking about how the correct pronunciation of Illinois, and we're going to be cracking on tonight. First of all, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about we're all going to die? Because that's like the funniest thing that happened over the weekend.
Yeah, let's get into Ernst.
Ernst. So
yeah, she's got a very 90s techno name.
So this is mind blowing, isn't it? So this woman in a town hall, her name is Joni Ernst, and she said at the town hall she brushed off concerns that Medicaid cuts would lead to deaths by responding, "Well, we're all going to die." And then she followed it up with a mock apology video in a literal graveyard.
I'm so sorry that at the town hall meeting, I have to explain to people that they are not going to live forever and they're going to leave the earth. And then she spun that into a come to Jesus moment. And I'm like, well, there you go, folks. There is your harmless, benign Christofascism at its peak. Who cares if you have health care? Just pray and you'll be talking to Jesus. Who cares if you get cancer from the water? You don't need treatment. You need prayer and maybe some anointing oils, which are $700 a bottle because daddy needs a new jet.
Yeah. The apology video was just out of this world. Like,
it's the cringiest thing I've seen in quite some time. And this is with Elon Musk being in the fucking cabinet for that long. Like, it was pretty grotesque, even for Republicans. Like, bitch, why would I vote for you? I'll vote for a ham sandwich before I vote for that lady again. Like, what are you talking about?
Are you religious, Mikey?
No.
No, okay, good. I won't offend you by saying this, but like she said...
Real quick. On Saturdays, you can hang out with me and Neil, the 604 Atheist, on his channel, where we talk about deconversion stories. Okay, so if you are an atheist and you've left your belief system and you want to tell your story, come on over.
Cool. She said, "I apologize, and I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well." This is on her apology
She's religious.
Video. And then she said, like, she concluded the video by saying, "For those that would like to see eternal and everlasting light, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." So, what do Jesus Christ and the tooth fairy have in common?
Wings. How the hell do you ascend into heaven without wings?
I always love that. Well, Muhammad ascended to heaven on a horse with a woman's face. But
a Pegasus.
I love the idea that Jesus just like rose up into the sky, and then like
tractor beam.
Two millennia later, there's like a spaceship, and there's like this frozen Jesus just like floating through space, and dunks off the spaceship.
Or what my boy Rocket Raccoon, he's like, wipers. Get that shit out of here.
Mind the Jesus, mind the frozen Jesus. But yeah, I mean,
The air's thick with them.
these people are just not right, are they?
They are in a blood cult. It is a blood cult. All they care about is sacrifice and drinking blood and eating flesh. It's fucked up. It's fucked up if you look at it like an alien. If you were an alien, you came down and someone handed you the Bible and they're like, "Wait, they're eating his body right now?
They're drinking
On
his
purpose?
blood. Yeah, they're drinking
On
his blood.
purpose?
Yeah.
And they think that there's a miracle that happens that turns it into literal blood, into literal flesh when they take a bite. They would laugh at us. So I'm laughing at y'all.
Well, the big question I always like to ask to Christians is just, and Jews and Muslims, what makes you think that the most difficult questions we've ever asked ourselves as humans, like where do we come from? Where do we go? What happens after you die? Does anything happen? You know, how did it all come to be? You know, what's our relationship with the universe and everything? Why is the sun? You know, and all these questions were answered correctly in the Bronze Age.
Yeah,
when people were 99% illiterate. And there were no telescopes or microscopes or stethoscopes or any kind of scopes for that matter.
It's like these people who are actively on the internet saying that the earth is flat. I'm like, then your fucking satellite wouldn't work, dumbass. Like, you can't be having these long distance telecommunications with no satellites. It doesn't work.
No, they just float in the sky.
Those are balloons to look like satellites.
I think there's going to have to become a great reckoning in which we stop being nice to people who are thick as pig shit.
We used to be really mean to stupid people.
We were,
and that kept them at bay, and it forced people to put in some effort in school. You didn't want to be stupid because stupid people might get kicked in the pants when they walk down the street because they're stupid and who cares? I mean, I don't understand. Like, there's not even any self-preservation left.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, let's drill. Stupid. There's hurricanes tearing up the entire East Coast. It used to just be Florida. Florida only got a little bit of it. It went up the Carolinas and fucking tore all that shit up. What do you want, like a tornado to hit with a hurricane and then you'll believe climate change is real? Do we need to have the convergence in Kentucky or something and it just gets sucked off the ground and put into orbit and we have a second moon? Like, I beg them on a daily basis, what evidence do you need? What do you need? What does it take to convince you? I'll do it. I'll jump through whatever hoop it is, but you can't move the hoop as soon as I clarify that you clarify the hoop, you can't move the hoop. But they just want to do this shit with the hoop, even if you want to take the effort to teach them shit that they should know already.
I blame Forrest Gump and the end of them playing music on MTV because it got replaced by the real world and other reality stuff. And Trump is a reality TV person. So it's Farage in this country, actually.
That's where the transportation secretary came from. Road rules.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, I blame Forrest Gump because Forrest Gump is made out to be this idiot with a heart of gold. And unfortunately, although I'm sure a few idiots with a heart of gold do exist, the vast majority of idiots I've met who could be well read, but they've got no emotional intelligence whatsoever, they're fucking psychopaths, mate. There's a video series, I don't subscribe to it, but it just keeps coming up on my For You feed on TikTok. And it's this lad and his sister, and they're talking to their boomer parents. And the dad is just an absolute fucking horror show. He's just an absolute psychopath. They were talking about the fella who was Abrego Garcia, who got deported to this Supermax jail concentration camp in
disappeared
San Salvador, and they the daughter says, I've got tattoos like that, and the dad goes, oh well. He says, so you wouldn't be bothered if I got like picked up by ICE and taken to a Supermax prison in El Salvador? And he went, no, shouldn't have stupid tattoos, should you? This is the woman's own father saying this to her. I mean,
But those are the same people who were in the direct line of fire of all the DOGE cuts, all of RFK's crazy shit, all of McMahon's dumb shit. Like, he's in the direct line of fire. He thinks, the laser is pointed at the enemy, and all of us are just standing there with mirrors, just waiting for the beam to hit us, and we're just reflected. Like, we're like, don't fire. We're going to reflect this back at you. And they're like, nice try, the old mirror trick. And they are cooking themselves. And then he'll be the same guy who is furious in 6 months that his kids won't talk to him. And then he's furious that his job let him go because, the market's crashing and I don't really need you. And he's like, well, I got a 401k to rest. Oh, I can't really rely on that. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm advocating for everyone, all citizens, even the ones I disagree with, but there's kids, right? Like, how is this sustainable for bringing in the next generation? It isn't. There is no planning on the kids, on the future, on the schools, on the healthcare at all. So the same democratic, liberal leaning society that he grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, he's actively trying to destroy. And the boomer move of them all, which is to close the door behind you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who taught them that, but they need to unfucking learn that shit, or they are going to find the pitchforks and torches very uncomfortable for them.
Yeah,
because
we need to quickly say not all boomers before we get into trouble with the couple of boomers who watch this show. Not all boomers.
When those boomers in the world, Muhammad Ali had a great interview quote thing where he's talking about racism and shit like that, where he's like, now if one snake is coming down the aisle and or 1,000 snakes are coming down the aisle and you tell me 10% of them snakes are good, you expected me to just expect them 10% good snakes to just make a wall and block all the other snakes from there? If you are not eating other boomers and taking their lunch money and embarrassing them, then you are them. Just like if you are a cop and you let your fellow officer beat the shit out of somebody and not put it on paperwork because it's a drug addict, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you're also a bad cop. So if you have not been actively trying to dismantle this pull up the ladder behind you mentality, then yeah, it is you too. And if that's uncomfortable, good. Do something to change it.
The fact that the Republican Party, this bill that's going through the House at the moment, whether it gets going through Congress, whether it gets through or not is another matter. But if it does get through, you're talking what is it? 6.7 million people dropped off healthcare. Is it?
Well,
so that's 8.7 million would remove. It would remove 8.7 million people from healthcare coverage.
That's the tip of the iceberg, because you also have to consider, let's talk about retirement homes, like old people's homes, where we take our golden age people so they can live out the rest of their days in dignity.
Yeah.
Well, they take a lot of that money. Like, they mostly sustain themselves on that money. So let's say your grandpa, maybe he's got a hip thing, and he needs 24-hour care. So you guys put him in there. There's not going to be somewhere for rich people to put their elderly family members either, because without the 80% of the people or 60% of the people that are taking that government assistance, they're not going to keep the fucking place open for the 10%, 15% of people who can afford to pay it out of cost. You'll just have to hire somebody to come into your home, which is definitely in the budget. Yeah. I'm sure you guys had that all squirreled away. And it's, the retirement homes is a good analogy, but that's multiple things. There's multiple failure points all across the country in all kinds of sectors, simply because, we got a subscriber. Thank you. It's not gonna work in the long term, because they have so many different points of failure that they are triggering intentionally so that those systems no longer exist.
Yeah, you're right. But they're making jokes about it. They're making jokes about openly making jokes about letting people die for tax cuts for the super wealthy. This is all part of the Republican post-shame era. There is no shame anymore. There's no shame in being an idiot. When I was a kid, the idiot, because I went to quite a good school, and you didn't necessarily get sort of bullied for being ginger in this school. You got bullied for coming bottom. So it was kind of like a little bit of topsy-turvy.
Oh, for having the lowest scores. I was
Yeah.
like, what is he trying to say to me right now? I feel like he's trying to
Having
coming
the
bottom.
lowest score. It's not a gay reference. Well, it was a
Oh,
boys' school.
I have to check. You guys are very, very loosey goosey with the sexuality. So I have to like, is that what happens?
Happy
They just
Pride
kind
Month,
of,
by the way, everyone. But no, I was talking about like
Yay,
if you
happy
came
Pride.
if you came bottom, you were
Bless you.
mocked for coming bottom in a test. And now people are wearing their ignorance like a badge of fucking pride. And it's not just in the US, it's in the UK, it's all over the fucking world. I'm not really. People used to be embarrassed about not knowing stuff, and now we've got access to all the
Yes.
information we'll ever need through the internet. And everyone's like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to find out the answers to things.
Let me ask you this. I feel like let me know if you agree. Here, I'll put it this way. I feel like I've learned more since like 2010 than I learned in all of my years of school, thanks to my smartphone and YouTube. Like, I feel like I have learned so much since becoming an adult and having this technology. And then to find out people don't even read.
Yeah.
Like, everything that they're getting is from Facebook. I'm like, you don't have any books in your house at all? Like, not even ones that I'm gonna read it. Like, everyone has like that stack. Everyone has like that big
infinite chest.
that 15 book stack. Like, oh, I'm gonna get to that. Oh, I'm gonna get to that. And when I do, it's gonna be so cool. But it's our parents read the newspaper, like, or listened to the radio or watch the news every night. These people are reality TV, sports betting, and violence, and trans porn. Sorry, guys, we know your secret's out. We got the report. You guys all love trans porn. As much as you rail against it, you love it secretly. Desperately.
Over in the States, I mean, what's the reaction been like to this woman who's, we're all gonna die? Are they talking about it? I mean, or just
you
just
heard
in
it in the
general
clip.
about the. I know you're hearing people in town halls, but if I was in a town hall in America, I'll be one of the noisy fuckers shouting out. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
What's the feeling at the moment?
But let's contextualize the meeting in a sense. So they're going out for summer break. And she's gonna do. Congress is going out for summer break, and she's gonna do one more town hall, right? So let's not forget, she did this on a Friday at 7:30 in the morning.
Wow!
And that room was still packed to the brim, and they booed her relentlessly.
Wow!
Like, she tried to get away. Like, so I mean, I know it looks like, oh, there's not going to be any response, but she tried to sneak a meeting in, like, see, I talked to my people. You just couldn't get to the meeting. And I had to do the meeting this time because of my scheduling constraints. They showed up anyway.
Yeah.
Even though they tried to, like, slide it through and make it at the most inopportune time. It's Friday. Everyone's got one more work day. And 7:30 in the morning. What a dick. Just like they were doing that fucking bill. They were starting the voting on the bill at 1:30 in the morning. It's like they're doing this because they are afraid of letting the American people know what they're up to. Yeah. And they are desperately trying to hide it. That's why Carolyn Levitt is up there lying her pants off every day.
Yeah.
She hasn't had one day where she hasn't had to just completely make some shit up out of whole cloth. Like Kellyanne Conway could never. Homegirl ain't got the engine for it. She ain't got the battery. She ain't got the juice. Carolyn Levitt is Kellyanne Conway on performance enhancing alternative truth drugs. Like, she is just a different lying machine like we have never seen previously.
Yeah,
and with a straight face.
She's very good at lying. But yeah, just to go back to what you're saying about learning more stuff, yeah, I think that's true. I mean, like, I always said that I learned more stuff traveling than I ever learned, about politics and history than I ever learned in school, university. And yeah, I guess having that access to information at the tips of my fingers, I think you're right. And what's kind of weird for me, like, when I did my travels between 2009 and 2012, I didn't get a smartphone until I came back to the UK. I had like an iPod Touch, which was kind of like a smartphone, but you could make phone calls on it. And you
No,
to
it had
get
Facebook. That's all. Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook. It had Twitter. It had Zoom. And then this is an Apple thing. They decided to do an upgrade, and then they said, "Oh, it doesn't work anymore."
Like that was the whole
the
whole point of having like the iPod Touch and all that stuff with the video. You just wanted to get to the App Store.
Yes.
Because like back in those, like the only good apps came on the Apple Store, because all the ones on Samsung were fucking trash, or they were like $10 each, and they came from sketchy companies, and they may or may not work. It wasn't really regulated, so you had to go over to Apple to get the good stuff. But it's so Scott over here in the bin chat says Boomer, Gen Z, Gen X, it's all foreign to me. So what's the ages for Boomer? Do you remember?
So you got the greatest generation with the war generation, so they would have been 18 years old when the war broke out. So that's anyone from like 1921 to sort of 1935, something like that. Or oh no, a bit before then actually. And anyone who couldn't fight in the war, so they were a child during the war, they were the silent generation, and that leads you up to the 1950s. I think the Boomer generation was
46 to 64.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's quite a long period for a cohort, I think, longer than normal, maybe. And then it's Generation X, which is 60, what was it, say 64?
65 to 80, yeah.
And then 80 to millennials, people who came of age in the millennium.
Up to 96.
96, and then 96 to 2010, I think, a Generation
12.
Z. Oh, 12, is it? Ooh, okay. So one of my stepdaughters is Generation Z, and the other one is Generation A. I think they're calling themselves now. I'll call them Generation F. Fucked.
Yeah, mine's
the situation with
my little one is the Alpha variety.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
2013 to 2025.
There you go. So yeah, I regard myself as a millennial, even though I'm 79, so I'm kind of like an elder millennial.
Get the fuck out of here, Gen X motherfucker. Get out of here.
I'm not Gen
X. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I fucking hate Bon Jovi. I fucking hate Bryan Adams.
Love it.
Shite
love
music.
it.
I'm a shit time.
If Graham pulls his shirt down, you're gonna see a Bon Jovi tattoo.
Fuck
right
that
here.
Guy. Hate him. No,
why do you hate Bon Jovi? Just because of his music, or
because I don't need to hear his music again? Thank you very much. And yet, every time I go into a fucking supermarket, or get in a taxi, or get in any situation in which I do not control the fucking music, I've got to listen to this shit. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard this one before. Thank you.
Can I give you one thing that might make you like Bon Jovi?
Earplugs.
He is one of the few actually like independent acts out there right now. So when he does like Soldier Field in Chicago, when he plays, he rents Soldier Field. He brings in all of his own concessions people. He puts up all of his own merch. They make their own food. They do everything in house, and they travel as this. He has the best touring show ever, and so his spins may not be where they used to be. His streaming plays or whatever. But he takes 100% profit from his tour, which is crazy because you'd have to be able to fund the whole tour yourself. And he does it. It's amazing. It's a modern miracle in music.
Still hate him. Still hate him. But no, I think it's more to do with my sort of life ambitions and things like that. Like, I never thought I'd get a proper job. I don't own property in this country. I never settled down and for the normal life, and I feel like my older brothers are a bit more. No, they're totally Gen X in that respect, but it's to do with like, I don't know. I know I'm wearing an ironic 90s shirt at the moment, but generally speaking, I don't regard myself as a Gen Xer. I'm very old millennial.
Person impersonator says John Bon Jovi does great stuff with homeless kitchens. I mean, if you want to just hate the guy he's just feeding the homeless. I don't know why that makes him such a bad guy. Graham doesn't want them to eat. He thinks they're all going to die anyway.
Whether she's a boomer or whether she's Gen X, look, it's a bit of a grey area. It's not like a set definition, and not everyone in each cohort is exactly the same. As I often say, not all boomers. Not all boomers are sociopaths, but I mean, I've got to say it. You know, which cohort had the most psychopaths by a factor of 100? I think that'll be the boomers. My God, you loved your psychopaths.
There's a lot of them.
The 70s, 80s, and 90s, you couldn't leave the house without running into a psychopath who wants to chop you up and put you in the fridge.
I mean, like people with the vans and all that shit. That wasn't my generation.
No.
That was before us, and we were like, "Oh shit, a van with no windows, run!"
Stranger danger. But yeah, the
We had
number
to-
of serial killers.
We
has gone
had
off
to
a cliff.
learn. We had to learn how to
Years.
fucking defend ourselves from psychos.
Yeah. And people go, "Oh, we got the CCTV these days, and there's DNA testing." I'm like, yeah, but they didn't have that in the 40s. They didn't have nearly as many serial killers. I mean, they had killers, lots of killers.
Well,
obviously, you got
hey,
medals
Graham.
for killing people in the 40s.
Hey, Graham. Maybe they didn't get caught. You ever thought about that?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean,
No, but
obviously
they collected
maybe they got
bits
away.
of people and all that kind of shit. You know, the proper
Maybe they-
weirdos.
Maybe they got away with the crime. I mean, that could be the obvious answer to the query. Is they didn't show up in the data because we never caught their ass.
Well, I think that's quite interesting because there's I've mentioned this on the show before. There's a bit in one of the Sherlock Holmes mysteries where they go off into the countryside. I think it's out of the Baskervilles, and Sherlock's saying how much he hates the countryside, and Watson's like, "Oh, you cantankerous old bastard! Why do you hate the countryside? Everyone loves the countryside because there's loads of like crime that goes on and never gets reported because there's no one around. Can't get away with this shit in the city."
Look at what happens and look at what's happening in South Africa. Those farmers are facing a white genocide.
All one of them.
All 12 this year. Never mind the hundreds of their workers who have been killed by roving gangs of starving, broke, desperate people who are trying to feed themselves during an apartheid regime which refused to let go of the reins of power. Perhaps if you got rid of all the relics of the fucking apartheid, you wouldn't have this fucking economic disparity which produces crime. If you want crime, start taking money away from people, and then you'll get it.
Yeah,
it will pop up like a toadstool overnight.
Yeah, but the South African government in the early 90s under was it P.W. Botha and then F.W. de Klerk, they never gave up the power. I mean, they gave up the presidency and they gave up the parliament, but the real power was the money, and they still haven't let go of that.
And the land.
People in South Africa are disproportionately rich compared with the black population, and also they're less likely to be a victim of crime because they can afford security and high walls and things like that other people can't.
And also because there's less of them.
Yeah.
You know, like while you're like, oh, look at how many white people died. It's like, well, look at how many black people are wrongly incarcerated. Well, that's because maybe they would have done something. It's like, oh, okay, so now it doesn't work. Like that same logic doesn't apply when it comes to thinking critically about criminal justice systems in your own country. But when you look at imagined genocide in another country, you can just, plug in the gaps. Just spackle over that bad boy with some shrugs. And it's fine. Just, how do you know? How does anyone know?
Talking about spackling over people that you shouldn't. So what's this about Elon Musk getting into a fight?
Yo, I heard it was Besant.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the guy's wife that he stole, Casey Miller. I thought it was Stephen Miller who punched him.
Stephen Miller can't throw a punch.
So it wasn't Stephen Miller. It was Besant.
I think it was Besant.
He's like 63, isn't he? How old is he? He's like an old fuck.
Hey, he's an old gay man, and he has been putting up with shit for a long time. And I think Elon drove him to his very strange voiced limit. And I think he cranked him. That's what I think.
What does that mean?
So cranked him, gave him a gut. What's his face? Steve Bannon was talking to.
He's 62.
Yeah.
Hey, he was born in 1962.
Oh boy, golden birthday.
Yeah,
gross. But Steve Bannon was talking to a reporter saying like Elon was getting all or Besant got in his face because he was like, yo, you're supposed to save us 3 trillion or 5 trillion and you've only said 150 billion. Like, where's the money? What have you been doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then Elon got all and that's when Elon got physical, quote unquote. And then he said, yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah,
Wow. So Scott
my money's on
Besson
Besson.
didn't get a shiner. It was just Elon.
Yo, maybe I think he's taller than him. He's got the reach, reach out and touch him. Let him taste it. Let him have a little taste. Get him with that.
Fucking hell.
Sit. Fucked up Elon. Elon lucky it wasn't Zuckerberg. I'm still waiting for them to cage match like they promised us, like, I don't know, 5 years ago.
I think Zuckerberg will win by.
Oh, he would shred him.
Like
he's been Brazilian jiu-jitsu and MMA training, kickbox training with all the bros,
Elon Musk
the chads,
has just been giving women a vial of his cum
and filling himself with all the drugs he can find.
All the drugs. So we're talking ketamine, ecstasy, Adderall,
mushrooms,
magic mushrooms. You call them edibles, don't you, over there? Edibles.
No.
Oh,
edibles are usually weed, THC.
Oh, so is that like you put it in a gummy bear or something? What do you do?
Right,
like
or candy, or in a chocolate bar, which is also
okay.
big.
Okay, all right. So that's an edible. Do you know what? For some reason, I thought it was mushrooms all this time. I've heard it being discussed in movies and gone, oh, they must be talking about magic mushrooms.
They could be talking about it, but they're probably talking about weed.
Okay,
mushrooms.
Right, well,
some people use mushrooms, but I'd say that's like under 5%. Now a lot of people smoke weed. I don't think a lot of people do mushrooms.
Yeah.
Not a lot of tripping.
Yeah.
A lot of escapism, but not a lot of tripping.
Do you know Scott Besson was formerly a partner at a certain fund management? You'll never guess whose fund management company he worked for.
Toys R Us?
George Soros.
I knew it. They're taking us down from the inside, Graham. The calls are coming from inside the house. Oh, so, maybe he said something about Soros, and then Besson was like, "Sure, you can," and gave him a fucking dragon punch, the dragon uppercut. He's like, "You're not saying shit about my buddy," and he gave it to him. Maybe reverse roundhouse.
But yeah, this guy Musk, so he's there and he's got a black eye and he's wearing this T-shirt that says the Doge Father on it, and he's there in the white in the Oval Office, right? Like wearing a slogan T-shirt, like it's just like turning up with like a Just Say No T-shirt or Frankie Says Relax or something. It's just a bit weird, and he turns up.
No, it's like turn up with a Vote for Pedro shirt.
Yeah, yeah, and he's got this fucking black eye. And it's just like, I don't know. And then he's, they've done the thing where people have played back the video of Trump talking and they focus in, they zoom in on Musk. And he's just away with the fucking fairies. That is drugs. And he says, oh, no, it's autism. I'm like, I know Bullshit. A lot of people who are autistic and none of them behave like that. That is just fucking weird. That is drugs.
I don't know what it says about me, but a large portion of my friends are on the spectrum. Bullshit, brother. Just like none of my friends, because of their autism or having Asperger's or whatever, they don't fucking Sig Heil on big stages. Like, enough.
Did you hear someone said that because he apparently, because of all these drugs that he's been taking, he's lost control of his bladder and he just pisses himself and it's really painful because basically the capillaries in his cock fucked up because of all these drugs he's put inside himself. And someone said, that's not urine, it's actually Roman sweat.
It's hey, maybe he should just, get a catheter. Call it a day.
The thing is, I've got no sympathy because it's completely self-inflicted. And it's not as though, like, I know people who have fallen into alcoholism because they've lost their job or that
divorce,
they haven't got any money and they're living in a shit house or a shit flat and they're just miserable. And it's something to keep them,
escapism.
Going. He can do what the fuck he likes. He could make a project of going to every UNESCO World Heritage Site in the fucking world. He could do anything with his money. And he's like, no, I want to take loads of drugs and be a twat and stop these babies in Mozambique from surviving.
Even George Bush learned how to paint.
Yeah.
Get a fucking hobby, guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm just really good at video games. No, you're just paying some poor Chinese kid to grind your character for fucking 24 hours a day. And then
the problem is he gets no satisfaction out of anything he does because he doesn't mean any of it, and there's no risk to any of it. He never loses anything in his mind, you know. So to him, everything is bland. Everything is nothing because nothing actually matters. He lost what altogether because of Trump? Fucking $400 billion.
Yeah.
Doesn't even fucking care. Won't even fucking call the guy out.
Yeah.
None of it means anything to him. Imagine losing almost $500 billion for one dude.
Indeed. I got a super chat from, I'm just checking my phone because I got 2 super chats. One from Chris. Thank you for the super chat. Joanna says, check your PayPal, Graham. I've just checked my PayPal. I'd just like to say to Joanna, thank you so much for the huge super chat. In fact, I'm going to see if I can get me mega chat animation. Mega chat. Which should be on here anyway, but what's our show called? So it's Stateside. There we go. Right, now hopefully this will work if I press the mega chat button. Oh, man. There it is. Woo! Mega chat. Thank you. Thank you, Joanna. It was very kind of you. And yeah, that's, you know, thank you.
And Dead City Jen has a super chat over on the bin side. $1.99. Republicans who went after Hunter been real quiet.
No, but he's on
drugs. He can't fill out this paperwork. He can't fill out paperwork, which is going to take 6 months anyway to get through anyway. He might have been high at the time when he signed his name. Yeah. Therefore, he must go to jail. Well, what's Elon been doing? High as a fucking kite.
So he's not allowed to be a government employee if he's off his tits on drugs. They should be doing drugs tests. But apparently he was notified, Elon Musk was notified in advance that he was going to get a drugs test. Talking of Elon Musk as well, you know about this new director of NASA that they've got lined up? And he wouldn't answer the question about whether Musk was in the room with him when he got appointed.
What?
So this is the new director of NASA, obviously, you know, SpaceX, etc. And
we're gonna have to purge and bleach NASA too to get all those fucking tribbles out of there.
They're not as cute as tribbles. They're more like gremlins. Someone's fed the tribbles after midnight, and that's how we got that's how you got the Republican Party.
Someone told
me
one time
Republicans, because that's how you get Republicans.
Someone told me one time, or I read somewhere online, that Lil Wayne looks like a gremlin that you poured Monster or Mountain Dew on instead of water. I was like, that tracks. That is facts. Or Monster or something like that. Some yellow caffeine riddled substance.
Yeah. So this is the new director. I don't know if it's director, chairman, or whatever it is of NASA. But you see, the thing is, we've had 9 of these big fuck-off space rockets. Elon Musk's, what do they call it? The supersized fucking space rocket or something. He's got a stupid name for it.
The Falcon Heavy.
Falcon Heavy, yeah. So they've had 9 tests now, and they've all blown up.
That's Starship.
Oh, Starship. Okay, so these
Starship
are like
is the
super
one.
heavy rockets, aren't they? These are the size of the Saturn V, which is the one that got astronauts to the moon. And
not that big.
They've all blown up so far. They've all cost NASA, the American taxpayer, shitloads of money.
Yeah.
And NASA have got rockets which are reliable, and the old Soviet fucking rockets that they still use,
the
Soyuz, they're reliable. Yeah. They don't blow up. No one's going to get into these rockets. They keep blowing up. And he's like, "Oh, we're going to take people to Mars."
But the same way he tried to run DOGE is how he keeps trying to fuck up SpaceX. He headhunted and got some of the best people. Some of the best people from JPL and NASA are working currently at SpaceX. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, they have a brain-addled, high as fuck child as a CEO. Yeah. And he keeps they might have been done already if he would stop fucking with shit. Don't touch, just leave. Just give them the money and then go back to South Africa and start painting those white fucking crosses that memorialize 1 billion people dying or whatever the fuck lie y'all are pushing. Go do something else. You're not good at anything. Just go away. Just go.
So this guy, the NASA nominee, his name is was, it is, Jared Isaac.
Damn.
No, he's been dropped. He's been dropped today. They've announced that they've withdrawn its nominee for NASA administrator. And this close ally of Elon Musk has been yanked from consideration to lead the space agency. He's a billionaire private astronaut who was Musk's, not Trump's, Musk's pick to lead NASA. They're fighting like rats in a sack, aren't they?
Everyone at NASA should quit. Don't help
come to
them.
Britain.
Like, yeah, go to
Europe.
some other country. Go to some other country in Europe, or go to China, because China's space program is actually legitimate. And they have a rover on the moon, and that's awesome to me. And they're gonna map the dark side or the far side. And that's like, I'm interested. That's a way better use of their time than to just sit in NASA run by an Elon puppet who's just going to say, okay, so what we're going to do is take all the money and put it in my bank account. And then we're going to start building rockets right after that. Like, no, dude, he's just enriching himself 24/7.
Yeah, they all are.
It's ridiculous.
Openly. They're not even trying to hide it. The Trump crime family have made $3 billion. Like, on TV, Trump played a billionaire on The Apprentice, and now he actually is a billionaire by being president again, and he learned his mistakes from last time, because nobody's going to stop him. He thought last time there were rules. He thought there were guardrails in place. He couldn't just steal loads of money off stupid people who go for cryptocurrencies. He thought that he couldn't do that, but then he discovered that there's nothing to stop him, and so $3 million, mate.
That was the problem. He had competent people in the cabinet the first time, and they were sabotaging him. And they were making sure that shit didn't work out the way that it would, and that Steve Bannon didn't make that mistake this time. He said, get the dumbest motherfuckers possible. Can't have them too bright, because if they're too bright, they might try to follow the Constitution or some shit. Get a bunch of dumbasses who can barely read and write, and get them in here. If Elon, he's on drugs. Bring him in anyway. Hegseth can't fucking keep his mouth shut. Bring him in anyway. This lady has never seen a public school. Bring her in anyway. Oh, RFK for health. Perfect. Like, this is the point. The destruction of the entire administrative state is the point. So an Elon appointed person for NASA is probably someone who's going to be like, okay, so first point all the rockets at the ocean, and we're going to launch them all at the same time. Like, that's what he wants to do. They just want to bankrupt it so that there is no NASA, so that there's only SpaceX. There's no need for NOAA. We have Starlink now. They'll do all of our monitoring for it. Like, that's the point. Well, all of this is to
Firestone Tires buying the LA trolley cars, which didn't use tires.
Most curious.
Most curious indeed. But yeah, the fact that Trump is now, like, you know, a multi-billionaire, and he's clearly shit at his job. Musk was absolutely abysmal at DOGE because it didn't save the American taxpayer any money at all. It's actually net cost the American taxpayer because of all the court cases that are going through. Trump's lost 89% of all of his court cases so far since January. That makes him the biggest loser in history.
He wanted to be the best at something. He's the best at being a defendant and losing.
Yeah. But I'm just still amazed that it's still holding together. It just seems to be like, how the fuck is this ship that you are holding together with, like, bubble gum and fucking barbed wire? How the hell is this staying afloat? Like, why haven't they all killed each other? Why hasn't someone?
Because it's a big ship. And what we have is two assholes who are trying to figure out thermite down in the hold, trying to blow a hole in the bottom of the ship. They're kind of getting it, but not quite. So, I mean, like, McKinnon in the chat over here says 50 plus years to get nearly $1 trillion, 3 months to lose half of it. That's what I'm like. These people don't understand anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Like, they're totally like RFK is a perfect example.
Oh, God.
This man, Graham, according to RFK, what percentage of Chinese people have diabetes?
Oh, God, it was something ridiculous. I don't know. 70%.
Half.
Half.
He said half of Chinese people have diabetes.
Oh, my God. Didn't he say that 70% of all pharmaceuticals are bought by Americans? I'm like,
You
pretty
just
sure
make
it's not.
shit up.
Our
You just
pharmaceuticals
make
are
shit
free
up.
if you really need them, or you're on a low income.
It just makes it up. Just making up shit off the fly. Oh, I never saw. Oh, I
Half of all
vaccinated
Chinese
all
people
my. Are diabetic compared, according to him in his press, like out loud on camera in 4K in front of the whole world. You have people who can't read and write.
Yeah.
Trump can't read. We all know this. Kier, PM Starmer handed him, here's a lovely letter from the king. And he was like, yes, this is a nice letter you have here. I'm just going to read it in my head silently now.
Wow. So Chris in the chat is telling us about two parents in North Carolina who have been charged with manslaughter after they allowed their 7-year-old son to walk home from school with his brother. He was killed when a car hit him. The driver,
parents are in trouble?
76-year-old, hasn't faced charges, but the boy's parents have been charged. And both parents are in jail with no bond and were denied permission to attend their own son's funeral.
What? In North Carolina, you say?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, this is why we need the trebuchet, and then we can put Joni Ernst in the trebuchet, and we'll say what we're gonna do is we're gonna yeet you into the ocean, and she'll say, "But I'll die," and then we say, "Well, we're all going to die." Have you thought about letting Jesus into your heart? Loose.
Jesus will save you from the angry mobs. Because I mean, and this is the thing, like that lady's in Iowa. Do you not think the tariffs are going to affect the largest farming community we have? And now you want to defend the cuts like you're all going to die. All right, piss off all the farmers who live around you. Totally a safe thing to do. I bet you she won't do. I bet you she won't do more. No more. What's it called? Oh, and also her video was from a cemetery. I don't know if we added that.
Yeah. Because she was like, ha ha ha, look at these dead people. We're going to make more dead people. Think about all the babies that we've killed in Africa. Ha 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 ha, we killed them.
I forget the guy's name.
Motherfuckers.
I forget the guy's name, but he's doing the media rounds. It's a Democratic guy, and it's a very red area, but he's running against her. He's like, I'm not going to let you guys just die. That's the campaign slogan. I'm not going to just let you guys die. That's my platform.
Yeah.
Not just letting people fend for themselves.
Nobody dies. I promise you'll never die.
Immortality under my reign.
No, I said immorality. That's what I said, not immortality. You misheard me. It's your own fault. And I know you might think that's victim blaming, but let's go for all aboard the immoral train. But yeah, this is just half the cause, isn't it? Like what's been going on the last 5 months. We've got another 3.5 years of this.
But look, these are supposed to be the main distractions, right? You got the dumb bitch talking shit, telling everybody they're gonna die. Where's Trump's response to Zelensky?
I don't know. Honestly, I went on the news today when I was prepping for the show to find out some American news. And for once, there was literally no American news from Trump. There was stuff from other things that were going on, but from Trump himself, very quiet, funnily enough.
Because it's all going to shit. And I accurately predicted the paranoia has begun. Because they know that they've done wrong and they assume that everybody's coming after them to stop them for the wrong that they've done that no one found out about. Like, it's kicked in already. But it's not going to help them. They're going to drive us off a cliff, and then the people are going to get pitchforks and torches. Like that's kind of where we're at. Like we're gonna slam into we're gonna have a very rough landing before we can get back up into the air.
But the thing is, I mean, his unapproval rating hasn't really changed that much. You know, the people who disapproved of him this time last year still disapprove of him, and the people who think he's fucking the second coming of Jesus, fat orange Jesus, they all still love him. Like it's just.
Those people aren't being polled, though. You know, and those people aren't being told the whole truth, because if they only watch Fox News and the press secretary, everything's going great. What the hell are all these people talking? What are all these Democrats lying? These liberals, these woke crybaby transgendered liberals, they're all just making things up. Okay, when your shifts get cut, we making that up? Is that our fault? Did we do that too? And then and if this spending bill goes through and several red states are bankrupt, is that the Democrats' fault too?
Yes.
Did we do that
the fault
too?
of Democrats, drag queens doing story hour, immigrants and trans people.
And you can try to sell that to the American people, and the Democrats, good, bad, or indifferent, are going to clean up. Like, you have to, you need to provide results. Like, even on the first go round, a lot of people thought that they did better financially under Trump in the first administration just because of the stimulus check, which is deficit spending, which they are complaining about now. The only thing they liked about his first presidency, they have to pay for now, because that money doesn't just come out of nowhere. And now they're like, oh no, we got to get this deficit under control. You weren't saying that when you took the $1,200. You were happy then. The $1,200 was great back then. But now that you have to pay on the back end, he's like, no. Not only are you not going to get another stimulus check, I'm going to tax you. And they're like, yeah, this will work. We'll get China. Wait till they figure out it ain't China.
But I don't think they're smart enough to figure it out, Mikey. This is my worry.
But Democrats raise the prices on trade. Like, they can't spin that to the left. It's theirs.
He's doing it
it's
now,
been his
he?
thing.
He said the other day, he was asked about the economy, and he said, all the good bits of the economy are me, and all the bad bits are Biden. That's what he said, straight out. He didn't even try and like contextualize it. He didn't try and make up a metaphor or whatever. He just went, good, bad, Biden.
Well, I think that all the good parts are mine and all the bad parts.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's the shit that came out of his mouth. And it was just like, okay.
But that's the thing. Like, when he says shit like that, and then I think there was it might have been the same interview, but later on, and he was just kind of, and he's just like mumbling, and it's kind of incoherent. Like, even with the taco accusation, where he got all like red faced and didn't know what to do.
Got so upset. It was hilarious.
He's not firing on all. He's got a few misfires in that old inline four he's got up there, and it's not. He can't do what he's trying to do. He doesn't have the brain for it. He can't spin this in his normal Trump fashion. He can't put enough English on this ball to make the people believe that other people are in charge of his trade policy and not him. He has made it abundantly clear that this is his idea, and he's bringing people to the table, and they're going to have to negotiate. Please, China, baby, I'm sorry. China, girl, pick up the phone. China, come on, pick up the phone. Nobody wants to deal with you.
Yeah.
They're going to wait you out, because everyone else in the world knows that presidents don't last forever in this country.
Yeah.
And if you try it, oof.
Yeah. One of the actors from King of the Hill, I think he was in Parks and Recreation as well. I think he was in the Parks and Rec. He just got shot dead by a homophobe.
No way.
Yeah, that's fucking shit news. I think he was like 59. And everyone's singing the Beatles songs in my chat. What are they doing in yours?
When people no longer feel listened to or represented, the depoliticize, because why bother? Politics doesn't hear them. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why AOC, and what I've been beating the drum for fucking 2 years, is there needs to be a viable third option to politics. You can have your liberal side and you can have your conservative side, but there needs to be a blue collar progressive side that is about unions, about fucking, healthcare, Medicare for all, healthcare for all. Like, that is what the people are desperately going to be in need of. Whether or not they, the politicians run on it, like rent caps. Like, running on rent caps and universal healthcare is like an 80%, like, you know what I mean? Like, that is a landslide ticket. But unfortunately, with the Democrats, there is too much moneyed interest, Ezra Klein and his abundance fucking ideology, where they think, no, let the corporate people take over and will do Democratic things.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, the problem is the money in the first place. So no, thank you. You and your billions of dollars can go fucking get an oil platform out in the middle of the ocean. You guys can make your own laws, have your own little society. Piggy can hold the conch, and you guys can be lords of your own flies. But the regular ass Walmart shopping ass people don't give a fuck about what they're selling right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. They want their lives better now. And if you can't do it now, then you can leave.
Yeah.
Trump keeps promising it, even though he can't deliver it. There are things we can deliver and promise. I think we should go with that.
Yeah.
But the two-party system we have now is not interested in doing anything that helps the American people, just American corporations.
Yeah. In the chat, we had Loud saying Zelensky had plenty of cards to play. Yeah. So this caught Vladimir Putin on the hop, and it was quite audacious. Did you get much coverage of it in the US newspapers? This destroying of over 40 Russian bombers.
Oh yeah,
Mission Impossible style operation that took 18 months to put together.
Even MSNBC covered it this morning.
Oh wow! And what's the response been over there? I mean, are people happy? Are people like, yeah, fuck Russia? Or are they like, oh no, my precious Russia, you can't do that to nice Russia. They're so nice to us.
So that's the thing. Ukraine attacks Russia, has 7 billion, 2 billion, I don't know, billions of dollars worth of damage, like fucking up their bomber planes, which they could be using for nukes or anything like that. So they fuck up all their planes. Where's Trump? Nowhere to be found. And all the people are just like, well, that's good, I think. Yeah, it's fucking good. It's okay. It's okay to be happy that a bad person had and they didn't go after civilians, which I was, and there's a civilian attack we can talk about at the end here to wrap it up, but in Colorado. But I'm glad that it was military targets. They went after planes. They went after that because that's what a battle is supposed to be, where you're taking out each other's offensive capabilities versus oh, it's wintertime, and Putin's like, all right, let's fuck up their power. Let's get the hospitals. Let's go for the school. You know what I mean? Like all these like very soft civilian targets. So I did see like they were kind of like doing like the genius thing, and oh, it was a brilliant strategy and this kind of stuff. But they also said that about Israel when they were fucking putting pagers, you know, in the hands of Hezbollah and blowing up little kids, and they're saying, that was so great. And fucking Netanyahu giving out golden beepers and shit like that. Like, I understand that people want to be happy about like a military action that goes well. But at the end of the day, we're still talking about unaliving people. We're still talking about property damage. We're still talking about danger and harm and things that in the general conversation, we don't like visited upon us. So if we don't like it visited upon us, we shouldn't be so gleeful about when it happens. I'm glad the bombers are gone.
Yeah.
But there's an easy way to fix all of this. It's called put Ukraine in NATO and tell Vladimir to shut the fuck up. He doesn't run the earth.
Yes, I absolutely agree. So there's been this attack, and it's quite horrific in Colorado, is it? And it turns out the guy who did it is an illegal immigrant, I think, or he's not. Is he undocumented?
I just heard he was from Egypt. I didn't hear anything about his status.
Okay. I mean, if you want to help the Palestinian people, this is really, really not the way to do it.
Doesn't help at all. Doesn't help at all. And it's especially when Trump's DOJ and FBI are trying to go after every college kid who's ever said, I don't think that a genocide should happen with my tuition money.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I think you should use my tuition money towards improving the school. I think you should use it on scholarships for less fortunate kids or helping out people. I don't want you to do this with it. And because kids, 18, 19, 20-year-olds are saying that, they are taking away their visas for international study. They're not letting them back in the country. They're whisking them away thousands of miles away, like not New Hampshire, what was it, Connecticut or whatever. And then they took her down to fucking Louisiana.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're taking them out of that district is because down in Texas and Louisiana, they have a district judge that is on their side. So they are human trafficking
Yeah.
to enact this disgusting shit. We got 5 British pounds from questionable obscenity. At this rate, the Ukrainians will be liberating the Russian people from their oppressive overlords within the year. Maybe that's what it's going to take. Maybe that's what it's going to take, because it looks like Europe is caught with their pants down and America is eating their own pants. Like, I don't even know. We are an actual embarrassment at this point.
Yeah, it is. It is. I got a super chat from Kieran. Thank you so much, Kieran Crossen. The US needs Citizens United overturned, and Ukraine played them blinder at the weekend. It was great. It was really impressive, and it reminded me a bit of that Israeli attack where they tried to they did take out a lot of Hezbollah operatives in Lebanon using pagers. But you couldn't enjoy that. You couldn't go, ha, because innocent people got caught up in that. There was no
kids.
Yeah, kids got caught up in it. Kids were maimed in that. Kids were killed in
because they went and grabbed. Dad, your beeper's going off here. I'll hand it to you, and then it blows up in their hand. So they had no way of making sure that it actually attacked who they were trying to attack. Yeah. They essentially carpet bombed inside buildings, which is against the Geneva Convention.
Yes.
So
this is the thing with Ukraine.
And they also use white phosphorus in southern Lebanon for years.
The Ukrainians' attitude towards the war has been, in comparison with Russia, has been absolutely impeccable. I mean, it's not been perfect, and obviously crimes have been committed, but compare it with what Russia have been doing and getting away with, because no one's standing up to them. And it's another failure of the Democrats that while Biden was in power, he should have done something about it.
He did nothing.
As days go by, I get more and more and more irate about fucking Biden. He is
now you see why I was so mad. And everyone's like, "Oh, calm down. He did a great job, and your economy's doing great." I'm like, "For what? Whose economy? This doesn't help anybody." And look at Ukraine. We could have solved this in a couple of months. Put up some serious support for Ukraine and say, "Hey, Vladimir, meet me in fucking Seoul. Noon. We're going to talk. Hey, they're joining NATO, and if you start some shit, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
You cool?
Yeah.
Or do you want to fight?"
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that is what he responds to. And he's like, "Well, maybe if you lift sanctions, I would be fine with them going to." And then you have a talk and you do whatever. But this piecemeal, "I will be the strongest ally by doing literally nothing. I will sit back and watch as these people fight for their lives, and I will offer them the lowest amount of shit possible. Meanwhile, we're sending billions of dollars into Israel for a genocide." Like, it doesn't make sense. So you end up losing the right because they hate you, and then you lose the left because you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
It's the worst. This fence-sitting Democrat mindset needs to go.
Well, we've got the same problem over here with Labour in the UK. They're making the same mistakes as the Democrats made. Fucking put your tent out, make your pitch, make your fucking pitch, and stick to it. Don't be like, "Oh, well, we're losing in the polls to refuck." They're not losing to refuck. The Tories are losing to refuck. Labour aren't. If you're a refuck voter, you would never vote for Labour in a million years. And all they've done is they've made the number of refuck voters who would ever consider voting for Labour go down from 4% to 2% by trying to ape their policies. I'm like, well done. Well done. You got to give people a choice, and you've got to deliver. You've got to show that you are different from the status quo. No one wants to stick with the status quo when people are impoverished. People can't survive. People can't go out and have a good time. Like, I grew up in the 90s. It was great, Mikey. You could go out and have a fucking boss time for a $5. And I'm not even kidding on that. It was like a $5. You get drunk, get a taxi home. It was brilliant. You get a kebab. Nowadays, you go out on a Friday night.
A nice meat pie.
You're going to spend at least 70 quid. Like,
And that's normal. And we're supposed to accept that as normal. And that's just the way it is. That's just no one's on the grift. That's just the way of the world.
It's like
bullshit.
That, and that's the
bullshit.
Way it is.
No, y'all are stealing from the generations underneath you, and we've caught and wise to it now. So.
Well, not all of us.
The ones that matter.
Kevin says, Mikey is bang on. The UK should have had a stronger response after the Novichok attack. I couldn't agree more with you on that.
What's the Novichok attack?
This is when there was a British woman called Dawn Sturgis. There was an attack on a father and a daughter called the Schreppels, who were he was like an ex-spy or something, and Putin didn't like him. He was living in the UK.
Oh, okay.
And there was a chemical weapon attack with this horrific nerve agent that just like really fucks you up. And this woman, innocent woman, Dawn Sturgis in Salisbury, and she succumbed to this poison and she died. And it was Russian agents killing a British citizen on British soil. And then at the time, Foreign Secretary was a guy called Boris Johnson. You won't have heard of him. And he decided to celebrate this murder of a British citizen by going to a fuck party in Italy with the son of a KGB agent. And who was there? His dad, the actual KGB agent at this party. And Boris Johnson went straight from a NATO summit on his own, a NATO summit to talk about these attacks on his own with all the documentation. And he told his security detail to fuck off, so he could go and, hang out with his Russian mates and bang some miserable Russian prostitutes and snort cocaine off their backs.
I have a sound clip. You can't hear it, but when Boris got sent away, it was like, but them's the breaks.
Yeah. I've got a super chat, so just let me get that before you go on. Questionable obscenity. Thank you, sir.
Woo-hoo.
I tend to listen to LBC overnight, Bull and Pain Time, and the Bull and Pain Time doesn't sound like fun. And there seems to be a lot of Labour voters ringing in saying they'll now vote for refuck. I don't know.
This is what I was going to say before. With this abundance thing, I don't like them because they're trying to give everything to the court. They're trying to deregulate everything for the corporate overlords.
Yes.
Whilst using the language of that you're talking about. Yeah. Whilst, appealing to people on this. Look, we just need to get some stuff done. Like we would have 1,000 apartment buildings completed, but there's these regulations about parking lots and we have to have so many spaces. So if you guys just let us build apartments with no parking lots so we could just stack them to the ceiling and make sure that people have to pay for parking. Like, it's a grift, you know what I mean? So as soon as people catch on to the grift and say, this is some bullshit, now it's you hate democracy.
Yeah.
As soon as, and not delivering for the people is why we got Trump in the first place, and is why this fucking abundance bullshit is picking up steam, because it sounds like it's going to produce results.
Yeah.
That's all regular people want. They don't give a shit about a 10-year arc of your plan or whatever. Hey, can we take $1 million and fix this goddamn bridge that's got concrete falling off the bottom of it? That's what they want. They want to see the roads fixed. They want to see the bridges fixed. I mean, the FAA, what the fuck are we wasting money on Elon for with fucking Cybertruck, fucking a platoon of armored Cybertrucks for $400 million? What the fuck do we need that for? When we need FAA, we need equipment, we need gear, they need people, they need higher wages and time off. Nah, fuck that. Okay, y'all want to fucking fly around in private jets all the time?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Apparently, a Scottish Labour MP, it wasn't an MP, it was a councillor, crossed the floor today to join refuck from Labour. But I just look, there's going to be a few people who do mad shit like that. But then you have Tories who join Labour. But
Kirsten Sinema.
Yeah.
Steve Minchin. Minchin. No, that's the singer.
Is it? No, that's Tim Minchin.
Tim Minchin, yeah. Speaking of Tim's, Tim Ballum, $2 super chat.
Oh, Tim.
Quote unquote backs crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji. That's not how it's done, Graham.
Yeah. But this is the first councillor to go from Labour to refuck rather than the Tories to. There's been loads of people going for the Tories to refuck. So, okay, I'm not saying it's absolute, but I'm saying, like, if you want to go after people voting for you, get them to vote for you, you need to go for your natural ground, and you need to give people something to aspire to. You need to give them some positive news. It's not enough to just not be the other guy. Unfortunately. Well, I mean, unfortunately, but
I mean, and it was a huge mistake for Harris to, when asked by the interviewer, like, oh, what would you do differently than the Biden campaign or Biden presidency? Absolutely nothing. Wrong answer. I think we were covering it on Unboxed Politics on Thursday nights, but we all just like, no. Yeah. Why would you say that? That is that's stupid. Why would you say that? Yeah. Everybody hates where they are financially and the economy and the stability of the country. Everybody is in.
But this is the thing: you don't need to promise. Like, people aren't fucking. I know Trump voters are stupid, but the rest of us aren't. You don't have to promise the fucking. Golden piss for everyone. You don't have to promise the great treasures and everyone's going to live an amazing life. Just the things to get better, and that's like the first few months.
Just a little bit better.
In this country, they just went on about how shit everything was. It was like so depressing whenever they made a fucking announcement. By the way, I was correct. 6 months. It's not the KGB anymore. It's now the FSB, which stands for the Friendly Sexy Bastards. They've rebranded from the KGB. Have got like a bit of a Gestapo vibe, but they became ICE now. So
and like Labor and the Democrats, you don't have to do much.
Yeah,
you don't have to do much.
No,
find one thing and deliver. Yeah, and then your 4 years is gone, and then you go away, and then someone else does one thing, and then over time things gradually get better. But if you constantly want to just roll the fucking dice, all in, roll the dice over and fucking over again on whether or not people understand civics,
which is stupid. The most frustrating thing about talking to people at Labour is they're like, no, people will see. And I'm like, you've got to show them it. You've got to advertise your fucking product, or no one's going to buy your product. They're not just going to wake up one morning and go, you know what? I think I'm going to vote Labour today. I mean, people just don't. Yeah, and yet you've got a lot of people who will vote Labour no matter what. There's people who voted Labour all their life, but they've always wanted to vote for something else, but they've been brought up to never vote for the Tories. And refuck gives them an option. Because it's like, well, I'm not voting for the Tories. My dead ancestors won't be looking down at me disapprovingly from heaven and tutting loudly because I didn't vote for the Tories. I'd never do that, but refuck, yeah, all right. Which is full of Tories.
And I think that because we are politicophiles and we are deeply, deeply entrenched in global politics, like we're definitely the oddballs here. Like no one should watch or care about politics as much as probably me and you. It's unhealthy. It's not good for your mental state. I appreciate knowing
Steve
Manchin. Yes. Thank you. I knew we had it wrong, but I couldn't think of what it was in the moment. But it's like we intentionally come into this because we have like a certain skill set to communicate what's going on to other people. Everyone shouldn't have to fucking be us to understand what's going on. Like the reason why AOC is so viral and Jasmine Crockett and Bernie Sanders, because they're fucking talking.
Yeah.
Where is everyone else? There's 400 fucking people in Congress. And we keep hearing from the same 6-7 people.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And this is why David Hogg is trying to primary these. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
The fucking house is on fire. Get up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take my break. Time to take my summer vacation. No.
Yeah.
This is an emergency. You should be doing everything in your power to stop this. Yeah. So all of you dickheads who fucking approved Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Hegseth and RFK and McMahon and all the fucking rest of them, you're gone.
Yeah.
It's over. It's Jover. Yeah. We're moving on without you. Because if people have the option of your punk ass or more MAGA bullshit, a third party looks grand right now. I'm just going to come in here and erase all of the bullshit that both parties have been doing.
Here's something that I wish
100% of the vote.
I wish Labour and the the Democrats would do in America is have a. I mean, we talked about it on the channel, and I set this up as Labour Social because I thought we could get some Labour MPs on, and we could be arm's length from Labour and everything, and talk about stuff.
Did they email you back?
No, I give a fuck. I went to see them twice down in fucking London and said, "Here's what you." But like, one of the things that I really wish they would do is just have a group of tech people who can edit and make graphics on Photoshop and stuff like that. And any MP who wants to do some social media, all they need to do is do the video clip, and they can do that themselves, filming themselves, walking down the street, whatever. That goes to the video people, and they're freelance. They're not necessarily. It doesn't have to go through Party HQ. They don't have to put the fucking watermark on it or whatever, and they deal with the editing, the uploading, the putting out the blurb, telling the people on different platforms. At the moment in this country, Labour doesn't have a Blue Sky account. It doesn't have a Threads account. It's barely on TikTok. And the
How come Refuck is getting all this support? How are they reaching the people? Because they're on fucking social media, you dumb motherfuckers. Like, how fucking hard is it to get a fucking account and have a town hall on Zoom once a fucking month to talk to your constituents?
Yes.
It's like $10 a month, and you could probably get some sort of code to like get like the longer meeting because you
don't even need to do that. You don't even need to like pay. You just put it on YouTube. It's nothing. It's free. Fuck it.
Get one of your interns to get on YouTube, learn OBS. It'll take like 2 weeks, and you'll be fine. Yeah. And you can broadcast shit for free. I'm really behind on my chat. Let me catch up real here. Kay in the chat says centrism and liberalism both ultimately capitulate to and reinforce the status quo, which is inherently right-wing. Yes. Mikey's right there. Politics should be going on quietly in the background whilst improving lives constantly. People understand this. It's politicians that are stupid. And we got a £10 British pound super chat from Tim Ballin. Please all watch the Rossman rant about people's support for Apple even when they go against their own interests, and you will see why we are still in the shit. All right, let me write that down. Tim's always got some good shit to watch.
Yeah.
I'd be watching that shit.
But like I hope you've all watched Supertansky's interview that she did with Stella Creasy yesterday. It was a really good interview. It was about abortion rights in this country. Because shock horror to most of us who live in Britain, abortion's still technically illegal in this country. Okay. And Refuck are now doing the old American rhetoric of like, we don't understand why anyone would want an abortion at 24 weeks. What's wrong with people? And it's like having to explain to people, well, actually, the vast majority of abortions take place way earlier than that. The few that take place that late on is because they've found something usually wrong with the baby, which means that the baby is, the fetus, the baby is unviable and will either die or kill its mother on the way out.
Yep. It's
an incredibly traumatic time for parents, getting excited about having a child together, and then this happens. And Farage was talking about it this week. He was saying, why are women having abortions so late? And they're putting out propaganda saying, same thing that they said in America, that you can have an abortion up to the day of birth.
So, and Trump was like, and sometimes even after the baby's born.
Yeah, sometimes after the baby's born, the newborn baby, and they just, I don't know.
Citation needed.
Yeah.
Where has that happened? Where is the doctor? Show me.
But Supertansky has got 64.5 thousand subscribers on her channel, right?
Woo-hoo.
The Labour Party have got less than 60,000. She's got nearly 5,000 more people subscribed to her channel than she does. This video that she put up yesterday, Make Atwood Fiction Again, Decriminalising Abortion in the UK with Stella Creasy, it's had 7.2 thousand views so far, which is like that's pretty standard for Supertansky. But in comparison, like looking at the Labour stuff that they've put up, the latest video,
150 views.
yeah. Well, it's not. It's like there's one. It's got like 2.8 thousand, but it was like 2 months ago. The latest video was put up 2 months ago. 2 months ago, they haven't put anything up since.
Nothing's happened. There's nothing to report. There's nothing that the Labour Party in the UK needs you to know about in the last 2 months. So just, hey, this is because if we did have something to tell you, we would put it on our social media to make sure that our constituents heard from us what our stand on the issue is.
Yeah.
So in 2 months, nothing must have happened. Yeah. That's what it says. Yeah. But Refuck is putting out a new video every 15 minutes with AI and like little fucking TikTok shorts. And they are flooding the zone.
Yep.
Just like Steve Bannon is flooding the zone over here. And I don't know why they just refuse to listen to anyone who doesn't have money. Like all.
Do you know what it's like? You know when you try to get an older person to do something on a computer, and they say things like, "I just like doing it my way," and you're like, "Yeah, your way. It'll be quicker to walk to that place with a fucking letter in your hand." And they don't want to know about shortcuts. They don't want to know about a quicker way of doing it. They don't want to. They just don't want to know. That's what it is. So infuriating. It's like, just learn this. It'll take you 30 seconds to learn, and it'll shave 5 years off your fucking life. Well,
but no. Let me tell you about. But let me tell you.
You don't want to be shaving 5 years off your life. Extend your life by 5 years.
Sorry. But let me interrupt you and remind you about the way that I used to do it. Every 10 seconds. That's my favorite thing is when you're trying to teach somebody something and they keep telling you about the way that they used to do it. Yeah. Stop thinking about that. We're changing what you're doing. So there's no need to remind me of the way that is no longer valid. You keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
But it's hard. And I think generationally, we have learned to learn.
Yeah.
We have learned that sometimes you might have to adjust the formula. You might have to change up how you do things to adjust to the times. If what I'm in other generations, if what I'm doing ain't working, then there's something wrong with y'all.
Yeah.
And that is not the right mindset in 2025. I don't know how to explain to older people, like, you need to be on the right side of history on this. Like, you need to understand that, and maybe it wasn't you specifically, but you have to look at things from when you started going to grade school, to graduating from high school, to going to college, to buying a house, getting married, all that stuff. Put yourself in someone's shoes who is born in like 1995. I won't even use my like direct like line of it. If you ran through like a calendar for them and you tried to schedule out how they would live their life, you would be in tears by the time you turn 17. You would be in tears because even though your parents maybe make $50,000 each, your bills for college are going to be $40,000.
Yeah.
$40,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to pay that back after. And you can't get rid of the loan. And everyone around you promised you that you're going to have the most fulfilling life. It is going to be so great once you graduate from college. You're going to get a great job and you're going to be able to pay all this money back and it's not even going to be a problem. And for 5% of people, that was the case.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to college because I didn't have 28 grand a year to be a music director. Not when they make 40 grand, I'd still be paying that shit. I'd be paying that shit off until I was 100 years old. But it's that they don't tell you that you'll never get that dream.
Yeah.
And that even though I didn't go, I went into the workforce and I started DJing. I was in a band. I was doing all this like outside of the norm kind of stuff. All of my friends who went to college from high school were barbacks, were servers, were bartenders, were bouncers in the clubs that I was DJing at.
Yeah.
Because they needed money. And then there was a bunch of boomers inside the workforce that weren't supposed to be there because they didn't save enough money and they couldn't retire. Like it's all falling down and we get it. And us millennials and Gen X, well, maybe not Gen X, Graham's generation can butt out. But We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it, and we're gonna be empathetic about it, and we're gonna make it so that you can retire and get old with dignity, but also so that we don't fucking starve to death.
Yes.
So for that to happen, rich people are gonna have to give it up. So we need you on our side
We're not
with the
asking
getting
that
there.
much. Do you know what I mean? We're not
Just
they
tax
don't-
them fairly.
Yeah. They just don't want to give up any of their money at all. They're selfish assholes, and they are
0%.
they're the architects of their own downfall. Because if they just gave a little back, let that trickle fucking down. But they don't. They don't even give us a fucking trickle. They give us fuck all. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, no one's happy. And at some point, the dam will burst. And people will stop blaming trans people. People will stop blaming immigrants. And they'll realise, when a critical mass, which you only need 3% of the population to realise this all at once, it's the rich people who are destroying people's lives and destroying people's futures and curtailing their horizons. Hey, listen, I've just shared the 38 Degrees petition. This is Stella Creasy's petition. I've just shared it in the chat there. So if you go to the Politics Social thing there, and if you haven't already signed it, it's nearly up to 40,000.
Is it only for people in the UK?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Postcode in.
Sorry, Binsters, you can't.
We're only. Yeah, but there's Binsters, people watching from the UK.
That is true.
I can give it to you. Do you want it?
I'll throw it in the chat.
Okay, there you go. I've sent it to you through WhatsApp because I know how to do shit like that. Because I bothered to fucking learn it.
No. I don't use Control C. No. I type it in. I make sure that it's right. So I type it in one letter at a time.
Russell's saying, what's that? Using Control C and Control V will lead to an early demise. I'm like, yeah, I didn't say that quite right. When did I say shave 5 fucking... I meant like shave 5 hours off your working day, but I kind of fucked it up. Oh well. It's live. Whatever. Take 2.
This is what happens.
Take 2.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
Editors, make sure you fix that, okay?
Review show called We'll Fix It in Post. So they're up to 39,967 signatures so far. So they only need another 33 and they will hit that target. Well, the next target of 40,000. Jovian, thank you very much for the £20. That is really kind of you. And Jovian says,
air horns.
Here's a trickle. Here's a trickle. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And Russell says, am I still king? What powers does it give me? Can I make executive orders? I'm sorry, Russell, but you're a British king, and therefore you have no power whatsoever. Even with the Scottish Militia Act of 1707, you're fucked. We don't have to listen to you. Or,
Questionable obscenity says, fix it in post is Control Z, right? Yes.
Yes.
How did you know? He knows too much. He knows too much.
That's what my flag should be for Glastonbury. It should be Control Z, Elon.
That's what it is. That's the Gen Z. Control Z, undo.
Control Z, Elon. That's going to be my flag. I was going to have woke as fuck. What do you prefer? People in the chat, what do you prefer?
I will demand that on your sign you actually draw a control button, like key on the keypad. Like do the control and then Z.
Control Z, Elon.
Like draw a, what is that? A prism. Like do the prism box with a Z on it, or with the control on it, and then just plus Z. 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 I apologize. Z.
Okay, so what are we having?
Adding
Control
letters.
Right, what do you want on my Glastonbury flag? Do you want Control Z, Elon, which I think is quite clever, or would you rather have woke as fuck? I really like the idea of having a big yellow flag that says woke as fuck on it. Obviously,
Yellow?
It'll have a star instead of a U, but there you go.
Okay.
So what do you reckon? Oh god, it comes up tiny.
Hey, you could put. I mean, since you're saying woke, maybe you could do a sun.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, implied with the Japanese, because we did talk about our love of flags.
Yeah.
Last time. So you could have some sort of rising sun, woke, waking up, sun coming up.
Yeah.
Tim Ballon, £2 British. Refuck post equals alt F4. Yes. Yes. Alt F4 refuck is perfect. That's how you close a program, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a shortcut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close it. But yeah, have a double-sided flag. Doesn't quite work, Sarah, because I use t-shirt transfers for my flag. For me flags over the years. Z is a character from Police Academy 2. So yeah, you're saying Z, and obviously over here we say Z, but I was just humouring you by saying Z as well. Z.
Even with the cars, even with the cars, you guys will be like, oh, it's a 270Z. I'm like, just stop. Just stop. It's a Z. Don't add the extra. It's a Z.
I think that Generation Z sounds better than Generation Z. I've got to say, I know it's my language and I love it, but I prefer Z for that one.
It's just not necessary. It gets messy.
It's very close in the poll. Woke as fuck is on 55% and Control Z Elon is at 45%. I don't know if people will get the Control Z Elon.
Yeah, they'll get it.
It's a bit.
Everybody knows what undo is.
Yeah, true. Well,
everyone knows undo.
Not everyone.
Well, the people who can read signs know what. If they can read, they will know.
Control A, and then you press any key, and all of your writing that you've done disappears. And then
do Control A.
You really need to know the control set.
First, you do Control A, then you do Control X, and then you're going to do Control V on another window, and then you're going to Control C off of what was good, and then you're going to Control V over there.
Yeah. And
then you're going to empty your clipboard.
Vendetta says Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Is that from a movie?
It is from a movie. Oh, we got you on that one. It's Pulp Fiction. But Bruce Willis says it.
I hate Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, do you? That's interesting.
I hate him.
Why do you hate him?
He's got a fetish for like dehumanizing black men.
He does.
And I don't fucking like it. It fucking drives me up the wall. It's fucking nasty.
And feet.
The feet, fine. Have your feet thing. That's. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yums, but if it's constantly, now this is when I put the bowling pin up the black guy's ass. It's like, fuck you, guy. Like, why do you always do nasty shit to the black characters in your fucking movies? Oh,
true. Because
you're a piece of shit. And I love Margaret Cho, and he treated her like garbage. So fuck you, Quentin Tarantino.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that.
And Dave Grohl, you're next. No, going after everybody's heroes.
Dave Grohl, I mean, he did platform AIDS deniers 25 years ago.
He's been on like 15 different interviews now saying everybody who has their phone at one of his Foo Fighters concert is a piece of shit. If you have your phone out like recording or something like that, you're an asshole. And you should not come to his shows anymore. You should be in the moment experiencing it. It's like, hey, buddy, your tickets are fucking $75 plus the $900 I had to pay in fucking extra fees. I had to take 2 days off of work because I'm old and I can't recover like I used to. It was $16 per beer. And God damn it, I want to hear, there goes my... I want to hear that shit when I get home. Okay? Is that all right with you? Is that all right with you? I'm sleepy as fuck. I had to work a double today and then I had to come to this motherfucker after. Like, fuck you, dude. Let fans be fans.
I'm not that arsed. I mean, you know, I used to take a camera to gigs back when no one had like a camcorder, digital camcorder back when no one had a camera. So I got some footage from some fucking epic gigs and festivals and stuff. But now everyone's got it. It's fair enough. I don't mind it too much.
It's part of the fucking dude. They're making a memory. They want to remember you. You should be honored. If they were all turned their back, if I got pissed off
about it, I wouldn't enjoy the gig. That's the way I think of it. It's like getting pissed off at the queue for the toilets or something. It's no point.
If everybody was down looking at their phone, looking away from him, I could see him being upset about that. Yeah. But they're recording your performance so that they can show their friends later. And instead of being happy about it, he's like, you should just be fucking headbanging.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay, I'm ending the poll. I'm ending the poll.
Uh-oh. The poll's over.
Final results. Oh, damn. I thought it was 52. It was 52-48 for Woke as Fuck. That's why I stopped it at that particular infernal ratio. But it's come up on the screen as 51%, 48%, which doesn't add up to 100%. But God damn it. Anyway,
Sure
but
does.
yeah, we're going to go with woke as fuck. And yes, Sarah, I think you're right. You say you have to take a pride flag and a trans flag. I will take the intersectional pride flag with woke as fuck written on it. How's
like
about that then?
One
Shit,
angry
I came out wrong.
One angry
You won't get
pagan
that
in the
reference.
One angry pagan in the chat says tribalism is a survival trait that actually helps civilization to evolve. The question really is, does this evolved trait still benefit our species? I am undecided. I think tribalism is bad. I think cultural and like maybe even like ethnic or whatever pride is good. Like I think, and I think we talked about this on like a politics social like weeks and weeks ago. But I like being black. Like I like my history. I'm proud of who I am and where I'm from, and I'm not running from my past. I don't think it's fair that everyone should have to be human because my past makes other people uncomfortable. That sounds like a y'all problem, you know? Not you, one angry pagan, but like the people who kind of want there to be like this amalgam of just no one can be themselves. I think everybody should be fucking weird. That's the problem. Everyone's trying to be fucking normal. Like there shouldn't be a normal tribe. Like normal tribes should be banned. Everybody should be fucking one of one, fucking weird ass creatures from the black. Like everyone should be super unique.
Yeah.
And we should all love that everyone's super unique.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an interesting life that I want to live. I don't want everybody to agree with me or think like I do.
Same, or have the same hobbies. Do you know what I mean? I don't want everyone turning up to the same gig as me. It's fine.
Just imagine if everybody liked the same football team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they
would be
want.
the
That's the
fucking
future
point?
that the Conservatives want. They want everyone queuing up for the rest of their life to go into the same thing as everybody else. And like, I like the fact there's mad shit that I like that no one else on this fucking planet likes. I like the fact that, you know, I don't like Bon Jovi, for instance, myself, but I'm not going to stop anyone else going to a Bon Jovi gig. I'm not going to say, oh, we need to make laws. I don't like this guy. We got to make laws to stop people going and seeing this guy in his concerts. No.
All he does is sing about being halfway there, and he'll never get there.
Yeah. Anyway, so. Yeah, look out for the Glastonbury flag.
5 British pounds from Tim Ballum. Graham, I was one of those that got Foo Fighters gig at Reading stopped. Crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji.
What?
He got the Foo Fighters gig stopped at Reading.
At Reading.
Reading.
Festival. Yeah.
Well, it says Reading.
I know, it's pronounced Reading, though. Don't
then
ask
take
me.
the fucking A out.
Well, then it wouldn't be Reading, would it?
Yes, it would actually.
But for some reason.
Okay, wait. It's a typo. The A and the D are right next to each other on the keyboard. Yeah. They meant to say Redding, and the A was accidentally placed down.
It's just old English, isn't it? It's like, you know, I'm sure there's places in America that aren't phonetic. Like, I don't know, Illinois or Arkansas or something. I don't know.
Just when you think you can trust them. Just when you think you can trust them.
It's a Reading festival, not the Reading, because the Reading festival is a festival of books. This is a festival of rock.
It's very quiet. It's very quiet, the Reading festival.
So people don't even know what's happening. It was a big fucking tizzy because people were filming on their phones. Really? That's just bizarre. That's just weird.
He keeps doing interviews where he's saying, I hate the fans that have their phones out.
Yeah.
It's like, Dave, you're a fucking millionaire. Shut up. Yeah. No one cares that you're complaining about the phone. Shut up. You sound like an old man yelling at crowds.
Ian Cullen saying he feels left out because no one's talking about Gen Xers. We talk about Gen Xers as well. I mean, it's just
that's
that
Graham
cause all the problems. I'm not a Gen Xer.
Yes, you are. You can't just slide your way into our fucking millennial cool.
Fucking millennials.
You can't come into our club without
permission. Just premature. I'm the first millennium. I'm millennial prime, mate. Millennial prime. Everyone's just copying off me.
Nah, you that old X.
Experience over possessions. Generation X, generally speaking, because this is all generalizing, generally are into their possessions. I don't know any millennials with a personalized number plate. I know a fuckload of Generation Xers with a personalized number plate.
I was gonna get one for my mini, and it was gonna be Mando because it's got like a gunmetal color, and I was gonna put like Beskar edition because they have stickers for it. It was yeah, I had
I
a whole
like it.
thing.
Best car edition. Okay, I'll let you off for that.
It was
Well,
gonna be
that's not doing your Disney song about who you are, is it? That's about homage to a greater calling of Star Wars.
Oh, I should have had my license plate. Be, this is the way.
Yeah. This is the way. I don't know if you can fit that on a license plate though. Anyway, look, we've got to go. We've been rabbiting on for like an hour and 40 minutes. I think we've gone for the last like hour without mentioning the Cheeto Benito at all, mate. So we've done quite well. We've been talking about fucking Foo Fighters.
The real important things, like, is it reading or reading? Like the things that are really affecting the people.
Jovian, thank you very much for the last super chat of the night, I think, for me. Anyway, for the super chat. Graham is from the silent generation, surely. Yeah, because I'm silent and dead old. Sarah says, Graham, I was born in 79. I have a personal number plate. Well, you're on the cusp. You're on the cusp, Sarah. You're a zennial. A zennial, like it's millennial, but with a Z. Sorry, an X.
Question Alexander says, I'm curious about this book banning bill in Texas. I haven't seen that because I didn't actually sleep last night. I got like an hour nap and then I fell asleep on the couch and the baby took my glasses and she got into my records. It was a rough morning. But I will say this about all these sweeping MAGA banning things. It'll last for a couple of months. It's not legal. And that's the problem that Trump keeps running into is there's this fucking crazy thing called the Constitution and all these laws that keep popping up that, oh no, Tim Bowden, 2 super chat. He says, say it's Goucester. Gou.
Go on then.
CE.
Go on then.
Oh no, there's an L. Now question what I'm saying those.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Gloucester.
Yes. Well
Woo!
done. See, look,
Yeah,
he knows his
boys.
shit.
For me, that was from the hip and guessing. Let's go.
Well done, Mikey, my friend. Right, we're gonna have to wrap it up. Everyone's arguing in the chats now about license plates and fucking which whether they're a millennial or a Gen X thing or Gen Z or whatever. Right.
Show
Okay.
bottle.
And we can do the pronunciation things on your channel at some point. We'll come over.
I watched, oh shit, what was the name of the show? I watched Red Dwarf.
Yes.
I watched the IT Crowd.
Yes.
And I watched Luther.
Ooh, yes, very good.
Luther's so good. And then there was one other one. What's the
Alice.
one?
Alice. What have you done, Alice?
What are you doing to me, Alice?
Alice.
You're doing my head in, Alice.
I need a drink after doing that with me.
Broadchurch. I watched Broadchurch, and I was like,
There you go, David Tennant.
I think I like British TV. This Broadchurch is kind of all right. It was boring, and I mean and this is the other thing. I know we're trying to go. Yo, some of your best shows, like Broadchurch, the budget on that must have been like what, $50?
Yes.
I mean, they're just walking around.
We're just sandwiches and crisps, basically.
The
That
coffee.
was the budget.
They have to keep buying the coffee.
The coffee budget.
Because it was just an interview. Like, there was like cops just going to this person's house. And then that person, I'm like,
we do really good dramas.
It was fine. I was like, I didn't need no fucking dragon
Special
flying through the
effects
sky.
and-
Yeah.
Sky beams.
I mean, that show would have been better if there was like smog.
Or an alien coming down as a cyborg from another planet.
A realistic alien. Just CGI, completely mapped out, multiple. And it would walk in and out of several different rooms. So you'd have to do like a tracking shot.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have the actors time it.
Yeah. They're like a handheld thing. Anyway, right, look, we've really got to go.
We got to get out of here.
But thank you very much, Mikey, for joining us on this episode of Stateside. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for Morning Brew, so please join me for that. And I just want to say thank you to everyone watching. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the chats in general. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and enjoy the new credits. Goodbye. Da-da-da-da-da.